welcome back to Andor. I know I'm going really slow on these, I'm sorry. Work and artwork and life. It's difficult, but I promise I'm gonna finish it all. What you doing, Karn? God, that shot looks amazing. Some of the cinematography on this show is miles beyond anything else in Star Wars. I stand firm on that. Like, look at that shot, dude.
Be trifled with.
How am I trifling?
He's done us a tremendous
What's wrong
favor.
with the brown
You
suit?
need to remember you're not just representing yourself.
It's a brown suit.
I truly wonder what's wrong with it. I think it looks fine.
I don't believe in myself. I am desperate for approval.
I think you kind of forced that on him since he was a kid, personally. But hey, I don't know the full story, you know?
Is how tight to close our fist.
Yeah, it sounds nice and threatening, but do you have anything to back it
We
up?
work so hard when we're at peace. All matters of surveillance, search, and seizure.
Sounds very reminiscent of the modern day, unfortunately. I love her. I'm sorry. She has to be my favorite character on this show. I don't know what it is. She's just awesome.
Perrin likes it. I'm just not sure he loves it. I think I might want the other one.
Good cover. Good cover.
Ah! Is it true? Claire was just...
Nice. I love stuff like this, where you have to, you know, play the political game.
How I wish I had.
Have a nice smiling face while you talk about some serious heavy shit. I just love that stuff.
It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I explained to you the risk. Has anyone ever made a weapon? that
These
wasn't
two must have
used?
been doing this for a long time now.
The network's been built. It's up.
They're very good at it.
The time has come to force their hand.
People will suffer.
Yeah, you're gonna let people suffer just to get people riled up enough? That's kind of fucked up, but that's how a lot of rebellions work.
You already know.
It's not always just, you know, the bad guys who are
If you're not willing to
making
risk your
things
life, then
happen.
surrender if you don't.
Not gonna lie, I think that was one of my favorite scenes of the season. Honestly, I feel like I'm digging this show more and more as it goes. The political intrigue, the action, cinematography, and music all just kind of seem to be getting better with every episode.
At the Bureau of Standards.
Oh, God.
Rebel murderer running free because of corruption and laxity in the corporate authority. I was punished for trying to uphold the law. Do my job, maintain public safety.
You know, they say you're not supposed to shit-talk your previous employers during interviews.
Co-workers.
Look out.
Fresh start, eh? New beginnings.
An office job in a world where there's space travel, I would kill myself. I could never. I couldn't even work an office job in the current modern days. Hell no. You look surprisingly different with your hair down. Look at that shot. I am a broken record on this show, but look at that shot. Looks so good. Where did they film this? This is definitely on location somewhere.
At ease, attendant.
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
Can I rely on you for that level of discretion?
Yes.
Yes.
Get on with it.
She's kind of an asshole and everything, but I love her. She's just, I don't know, she's got this fiery energy that is just captivating to watch. Oh, so we are going to stick with you for a little bit. Interesting. Is that Vel? Well, don't you clean up
Where is
well.
he?
You need to find him.
Find him.
We can't have him walking around with Luthen in his head.
Oh,
You
what?
mean kill him?
This is what revolution looks like, Val.
Wait, so is she playing a whole separate game? And is not really with Luthen? Or is she just looking out for Luthen, being like, yeah, we should probably kill Cassian, he knows too much. Oh, that looks fun. Oh, we're back here? I thought 100% we would not be coming back here.
Look at you.
Aww.
What?
Tim Carter turned you in.
No, yeah, I guess he never figured that out. Why is he here, though? This is a really stupid idea.
know all this.
Not everyone knows it.
We're getting out of here.
Oh, he came
We're
to
leaving.
take her. That's very sweet.
To go where?
Anywhere we want.
Yeah, fuck it, anywhere, let's go. I get the feeling she isn't gonna go, but I don't see why not.
It's such a lot to take in.
That dress is awesome.
Sorry we're not having dinner. Can I trust you, Tay? Can I call back our old kinship and share some truth with you?
Mother,
Really?
Typical banker, no one pays me to be original.
Father said I needed to ask you.
Oh my god, she is so annoying. Like, laugh at a joke. Be nice.
You're excused.
Yeah, whatever. Just go. Leave the party. Go away.
My mother.
Jump off the roof for all I fucking care. Jesus Christ.
I've done more than grow weary of the Empire. I'm afraid you'd find my politics a bit strong for your taste.
Yeah, maybe she can trust you
Your
then.
world is inescapably linked.
Wondering all day how I could be sure of confiding in you.
I don't know what we're talking about.
You will in a sec.
It's a lie. The Monthma people think they know. Because as long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
That's pretty slick.
Raising money on my best shot.
You haven't answered my question.
And I won't. You're better off not knowing.
Probably
Perhaps
smart.
you find my politics a bit strong for your taste.
Nice.
Parents on his way over.
I certainly hope he can be trusted. My gut instinct tells me he can. But you never know. Wandering around here seems like a really good way of getting caught, man.
People blame you for what happened.
Your crazy boyfriend tries to get me killed, and I'm the villain.
You need to get as far away from here as
I'm
you
kind of with Cassian on that one, though. I'm like, this is your dumbass boyfriend who fucked that whole situation up. Now, I wonder if we're going to see her again, or if that was the, you know, the wrap-up to the character.
Hey, guys! Calm down! You're only making me... Turn!
He just had to go out there and try to be the good guy. I thought they hanged him, though.
What is this?
I'm not going.
What are you talking about?
But why not?
I'm staying.
So now you're taking on the Empire.
Oh.
So I don't have to think about Clem hanging there.
Okay, so they did hang him. Ah, Jesus.
Hey, I heard about this attack at Aldani. Have you heard about this?
What about it?
Boy, no, I haven't heard anything.
Old Imperial garrison. I'm brave enough to stick it out here.
How did he not just get shot and killed there?
I won't have peace. I'll be worried about you all the time.
Oh,
That's just love.
that is love.
Nothing you can do about that. Tell me you understand.
I don't.
You will. You'll see.
Sad thing is he will see, but I'll bet it's not until after you're gone.
I wish to lodge a charge against a fellow supervisor.
Oh, here we go. Let's see what you got.
The protocols, as described in the ISB Code of Conduct, are being violated by Supervisor Meero.
I believe you'll share my sense of urgency.
Let's see.
Supervisor Meero, do you mind having your integrity ventilated in public?
You advised me to reinforce my suspicions with data and to be careful in my work going forward.
Careful?
That is
that your defense? You've been careful?
pretty much what he said.
I'd be curious how many people at this table will think it careful that you found a way to access our sector data without ever filing a request.
Do you really think the rebels care about the lines we draw on maps?
You think the relevance of my work has been supplanted?
Systems either change or die.
On thin ice.
The theft of our most secret equipment and its distribution to rebel groups across the galaxy.
This is hard, verifiable data you are prepared to present?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit.
I believe Supervisor Blevin is aware.
Imagine if everyone in this room played as loose with the rules as you.
Excellent suggestion, Blevin. I'm wondering where we'd
Oh,
be
that
right
just
now
backfired on you.
the same endeavor as Supervisor Meero. I'll have to think about that. Supervisor Grandy, you will accelerate your schedule.
Well done, Dedra.
Watch your back.
Will do. Whoa, this is very different music. I'm kind of feeling it, actually. Niamos? Niamos? I don't know how you were supposed to pronounce that.
I'll be out in a minute.
Hello.
What are you doing?
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
Well, we need stuff. The greeny red nut. You liked it too.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, girl.
Are you listening?
This feels like a very different vibe than what we've gotten on the show before. Cassie, just move over to the right or something. Just get out of the area. You're fine. Just on vacation, right?
You look like you're sweating.
Well, it's hot.
Or you've been running.
Why would I be running?
Because you're a part of it.
A part of what?
Part of what?
I'll ask the questions.
Ugh.
You heard me.
Wait, no.
Is this actually going to be K2, or is this just a little tease?
I'm not running.
I want to check the shelter.
Jesus.
He said hang.
No, he means what?
Oh. Thanks. I know that's played off as a little bit of as a joke, but that would be so painful.
You got enough trouble without a resisting judgment charge.
I'm just a tourist.
Oh, apologies all round then. This used to be a 6-month
Assholes.
sentence. 6 years.
Damn!
6 years?
6 years?
No, wait.
Interesting that they seem to be implying, this would not have happened if Cassian hadn't done that mission on Aldhani. It's them cracking down so hard that has now landed him in prison for 6 years over literally nothing. So he took the job. Man, that just looks awful. That's how they end. They end almost every episode on a moment that I'm not expecting to be the ending of the episode. That was great, though. I thought that was really good. All right, I thought it was a really solid episode. As I suspected, it's a bit quieter, not, super action heavy or anything after the big extravaganza in the last one. But in my opinion, I think it really held that momentum for all the characters. Maybe with the exception of Karn, he gets his new job in the episode, but he still has the least to do compared to the others here. But they're clearly setting him up to cross paths with someone here pretty quickly. I mean, he's on Coruscant, so my first thought would be he'd run into Dedra, just because of the proximity of everything. But it could also be Cassian, because, he has a clear rivalry that he is trying to establish with him. And now that Cassian's been arrested and is going to prison, who knows exactly where their paths might cross? Dedra in the episode was just fucking awesome. I love her. I love her character. As I said, she has this fiery energy that's just the most dominant thing in the room at any given time, and I love it. Like, she is the definition of a driven character. And to see her spin around the whole accusation, and make it all work in her favor, I thought that was just great. Like, since the 4th episode, I've been wanting to see that guy get his smile wiped off his face, and finally got it here. Got to see Dedra, get a good solid win. But that only means, chances of failure have now risen. The higher you rise, the harder you fall, which I anticipate we will see at some point on the show. I really enjoyed the stuff with Mon Mothma and Luthen in the episode. Luthen didn't get too terribly much. Mon Mothma definitely got more. But seeing, again, these political games that they're playing, where they're just smiling and pretending that everything is fine, and they're just these ditzy politicians who are annoyances but not real problems, while simultaneously talking about their genuine plans of rebellion and insurrection. Like, it's just awesome. I love it. Because honestly, it just adds a certain level of realism to this universe of Star Wars. Like, it's filled with Jedi and spaceships and space magic and all this crazy shit. But what makes it feel kind of grounded and real are these politicians who are having to use, their own form of magic, just really solid acting, in order to put on a mask for everyone and get shit done behind the scenes. It's just awesome. I really love it. The tension and flow of those kinds of scenes were fantastic in this episode, and I thought the dialogue was especially well written here. Cassian's story may actually be the least interesting of the bunch in this one, and even still, I did enjoy it. His scene with Oh, I gotta look up her name. I can't just call her Aunt Petunia. Marva. His conversation with her where she's like, I'm old, I'm tired, I'm not running anymore. I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna fight. I'm joining the rebellion. I thought it was actually rather well done. It made sense for both characters, and it was a very, bitter moment for the two of them where she's like, I can't leave and you can't stay. It sucks, but we both have to, go our own ways right now. I thought a lot of those moments felt very authentic and real and were genuinely emotional, so I thought those were all quite well done. His scene with Bix, though, did not really do it for me. I don't know what it is about the character of Bix, but she just is completely uninteresting to me. But I enjoyed those little glimpses of his past where you saw, what happened to his dad, and what happened to him afterwards, why he was taken to the, teenage detention center. And I also enjoyed all the stuff on, what was the name of that planet? Nyamos. I thought the look of everything was still, well within the Star Wars universe, but it looked very much, like a 5-star resort in this kind of universe, which I thought was cool. And to see just how unfair that situation was. Like, he went out here basically just to have a long vacation and get away from everything. And when he hasn't even done anything, at most showed a little bit of paranoia as he was walking to the store. He's now going to prison for 6 years because the Imperials are cracking down. As Luthen and Mon Mothma said, people are now going to start suffering, and that huge amount of suffering is going to be what pushes people to fighting back. It's kind of horrible that you have to push people to their breaking point, but in a way that's really smart. That will work. That is what will get people to start a rebellion and fight against their government. And then they end the episode with the shot of Karn in his new, cubicle at his new job, which is a bummer to see that, he did ultimately decide to take it. Because, yeah, that just looks mind-numbing as hell. I would absolutely hate that. But it seems so strange to end the episode on that. Why not start the next episode with him being revealed to have started this job, and have the ending of this episode be the much more impactful moment of Cassian being sent to prison for 6 years? It just seemed like such a strange way to bookmark the episode. And that's like the 4th time they've done that on this show. But let's jump into the technicals. Writing of the episode, I think, was really good here. Again, there was a natural pause in the action because we need to focus more on the aftermath now of this huge heist that they performed. We need to see how the politicians are handling this, how the Imperial Security Bureau is handling this. What is Cassian doing now that he's gotten away from, anything having to do with the rebels? And I think they very smartly continued on with those plot points. Cassian ran back home to try and get his mom, and when that didn't work, he went off to some random resort somewhere to try and enjoy himself. Karn ultimately did take this really shitty job because he is in a bad situation where his name has been dragged through the mud. And Dedra and the Imperial Security Bureau are really making some forward, aggressive steps to try and squash this rebellion. And Mon Mothma finally taking some more drastic steps because things are escalating out of her control, and she wants to get a little bit of that control back. So she's, starting to expand the operation, so to speak. And even though this was a slower, dialogue-heavy episode, at no point did it feel like it dragged to me. The pacing, I thought, was very, very solid. And the dialogue scenes themselves were so interesting that I was glued to the screen. There was no point where I was like, okay, stop talking. Like, let's move on here. If anything, I'd say the pacing's even better in this episode than in the previous one with the Eye. But for the fact that Cassian's story with Bix and most of the stuff on his homeworld was just kind of to me. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. And the fact that they ended the episode on Karn's new job, which it just seemed kind of strange to me. I'm going to do an 8 out of 10. Editing in this episode was very good. I like the editing choices, showing Karn's new job at the end, how it just, does these quick cuts backing away from him to show just the monotony of how many identical cubicles he is now a part of. There were some really nice intercuts where when Cassian and Marva are having their conversation, it's also showing these little glimpses of his past as a teenager when he lost his dad and what he did after that.
So I don't have to think about Clem hanging there.
There were also some really nice choices where they would do these really long takes of like Mon Mothma speaking to either Luthen or her childhood friend who she kind of reunites with here. And only after she reveals a rather big kind of bombshell does it really quickly cut to the other character to showcase the reaction. It's this weird buildup of tension and release that really makes that reaction of the other character more impactful. It's a subtle thing to do, and it's not always something that works, but I think they really effectively used it here. And just in general, they had a real knack for making the edits either so long or so unexpected that you were always just a little off kilter on this episode. Everything felt more tense than it seemed like it should, which was awesome. I think that was absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna do 10 out of 10. Cinematography was also really impressive here. Again, just the opening shot of the episode with Karn looking out the window. There were shots later of Mon Mothma and Luthen like entering the establishment that were just unbelievably gorgeous. Some of it is very much accentuated by the locations or sets that they shot on, just because of how angular and symmetrical some of the stuff looks. But regardless, they still framed and composed every shot so that it looked that symmetrical, or in some cases that asymmetrical. Like, it was just some fantastic choices for the camera work. The lighting in this episode felt a little bleak at times, but I think that is kind of the point. A lot of the episode is spent in Imperial kind of workspaces, so the lighting is just this really harsh, white, bluish hued kind of light. And then there's also a lot of natural lighting, like spilling through windows or just regular sunlight on locations and stuff. And even when they do kind of mix warm and cool colors to develop a contrast on screen, it's, again, pretty subtle. They're not going for really bright colors, which works for the Star Wars universe perfectly, and this show more specifically. I've honestly got nothing bad to say, so another 10 out of 10. Acting in this episode, I also thought was a very strong highlight. Diego Luna and Fiona Shaw did fantastic during their, kind of heavy emotional scene. His inability to understand where she's coming from on this, and her hopefulness that one day he will understand. It was actually pretty heartbreaking, and I think they both did a really great job selling it.
Tell me you understand.
I don't.
You will, you'll see.
Genevieve O'Reilly and Stellan Skarsgård for Mon Mothma and Luthen. Good God, they were doing such a good job in their scene together. Not only playing their characters, but playing their characters' characters, which it's so much harder than it looks, everyone. It really is. And they make it look so natural and just so effortless. It's awesome.
I worried you might do something like this.
How I wish I had.
And even though I think Denise Go is maybe a little too mustache twirly with her portrayal of Dedra at times, I think for the most part, the way she plays it is, again, just this driven, passionately fierce personality, and I think she's just fantastic in the role. Again, seeing her on screen just captivates me. I cannot help but just absolutely love her character, even though I'm positive she's going to be doing some stuff pretty soon that is going to, or should rightly, piss me off.
And a copy sent exclusively to my office. Can I rely on you for that level of discretion?
So I've got no complaints once again, and I'm going to do another 10 out of 10. Costume design, I sound like a broken record here, but I think it was extremely strong in this episode. That party scene with Mon Mothma and everyone, the costume of like the dress that she wore and the like suit robes that her friend was wearing looked so good, dude. Just looking at that, I'm like, God damn, I I kind of want to get a costume like that. This shit looks nice. I liked Cassian's beach wear. I thought it looked still very much, within the Star Wars universe, but appropriately like someone on vacation. Also, the hairstyles and the costumes of the... what are their names? Vel and... who's the other one? But yeah, their hair, their makeup, their clothes right there. I was like, damn, you both are... looking ready for the runway. You both look great. I'm gonna do another 10 out of 10. Set design. Again, I think it was really great here, but we did return to Ferrix. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the place. And that's the place that has all the brickwork. And again, I just don't think bricks look right in the Star Wars universe. It might just be a personal taste kind of thing, but it pulls me out of the moment every time I see those bricks. It doesn't look right to me. But the set design for all the like Imperial Security Bureau areas, I thought looked super, super good. I really like the location and the way they've dressed up and extended the area for Nyamos. I'm curious where they shot that actually, because it's clear they shot that on an actual beach somewhere. They also chose that really great location for Coruscant, where you see, again, I don't know her name, it's Luthen's assistant, but she's just like walking down this long ramp and there's a bunch of mirrors up above her. Looked great. But because of those sets on Ferrix, I can't give it a super, super high score. They like truly pull me out of the moment. Don't get me wrong, I think the sets are built well. It's just, I really think bricks were a bad choice. So I'm gonna do a 7 out of 10. Visual effects, I thought were pretty flawless here. There were definitely some moments though where it wasn't. Almost any bit of green screen, set extension, or volume usage that they seem to use here, I didn't notice it in the slightest. Like, it all worked perfectly seamless in the scenes. I really felt like I was in the city of Coruscant, not on a set with a green screen behind them. Same for Nyamos, same for Ferrix. However, there were a couple moments where the visual effects dipped in quality just a bit. There's this shot of Cinta like racing down this rocky slope on a speeder, and it looks pretty good, but it certainly looks a little off. There's something about the motions or the motion blur that just doesn't quite work for the eye, and it does pull me out of what is a pretty exciting moment. I think the KX security droid at the end looked almost perfect. Like, there was no moment with the actual droid that looked off at all. But there were some movements of the characters that, he was supposedly grabbing and like holding up in the middle of the air, and their movements didn't look super, super natural, and it did pull me out of it just a teeny bit. So for the most part, I think the visual effects were really, really good, but I don't think they were perfect, and I'm gonna do an 8 out of 10. And finally, the sound design. I thought it was really, really good here. There were some new bits of score I got to hear that I really enjoyed. When we went to Nyamos, I think the weirdly like party kind of vibe that the music had was really fun and interesting. There was some great usage of silence during some of the more tense dialogue scenes, or some really subtle bits of scoring that they'd use during those that also really accentuated the feeling and tone of everything. I have no issues with sound design. It's getting a 10 out of 10. And that gives this episode a 9.1 out of 10, which I think is perfectly deserved. This is a fantastic episode. I don't know if I feel like it's my favorite over the previous one, because The Eye was very, very good. It was such an exciting episode, but I do think it had more problems than this one did, personally. I don't know, this might be my favorite of the season thus far. It's a little difficult to say. Regardless, I very much enjoyed it. Cannot wait for the next one. It bums me out that this show seems to be getting you know, less attention than a lot of the other Star Wars or Disney Plus shows and stuff, because I think this is miles better than Boba Fett and Obi-Wan and She-Hulk. And so far better than Moon Knight and honestly a lot of stuff that Disney Plus has put out. I really hope that this is a show that people at the very least come back and binge once it's over, because I think it's really good, man. So I will see you all in that next one, and that's about it.